Hi, welcome to the Rhododendron Preserve. This is a 426-acre preserve that's managed by the Keta Legacy Foundation, an all-volunteer organization that gets to maintain this area in permanent conservation. We're on the hunt for Trillium today. My name is Amy Lawrence, and I'm going to take you down into the valley in search of these beautiful native plants. Just a few steps down the trail to Big Tree, we see our first Trillium, and some of them have flowers and some of them don't. We're making our way down to the bottom of the valley, and this is where Wildcat Creek and Lost Creek come together to form Chico Creek, which eventually drains down into Dyes Inlet, which is part of the Salish Sea. It's really good salmon habitat in here, and this mature forest is one of the last remaining lowland forests in our area that's never been logged. So it's a really special place with a lot of really large cedars and Douglas fir. And it provides the perfect habitat for our Trillium and other native lilies that really like this forested, partially shaded habitat. So we're getting down to where we're going to start to see a lot of these beautiful flowers. I'm going to be using my favorite reference book, Pojar and McKinnon, and you can see mine is well loved. If you're interested in native plants and learning more about them, I really recommend this book. It's not hard to find them now that we're down in the valley. Here we have a nice little patch of them on the trail, right next to the trail, in this little gap in the canopy. And we'll keep walking down this way a little bit and see a few more. Let's use this nice tall Trillium to show some of the detail of this really interesting plant. So the scientific name for Trillium is Trillium ovatum. Trillium refers to tri, which is easy to remember because you have 3 leaves, and then you have a single flower in the middle of those whorl of 3 leaves with 3 sepals, which is the outside of the flower, and then 3 petals. And usually Trillium are shorter than this. This is a pretty tall one, but they have a single stem that's connected to an underground stem, and they can reproduce via that rhizome vegetatively. So they can make clones of themselves, which is why you often see them in clusters. And you see this little one that's come up probably off of the rhizome of this first one. They can also reproduce from seed. So a little bit later in the season, it's April 7th today, a little bit later in the season, this ovary in the middle of the flower will ripen, turn into a fruit, and the seeds will be dispersed, sometimes by ants. So ants like to eat the outer coating of the seed and then will disperse it that way. We're making our way back up the hill to the trailhead and see some more here as we get close to the creek. A common name for Trillium is Western Trillium or Wake Robin, referring to the start of spring when robins wake up. And even though these are one of the most obvious native wildflowers in the valley, there's lots of other things to see later in the year. Lots of other native lilies, like this false lily of the valley down here. It's just starting to come up. So even though the Trillium are pretty amazing, there's lots to see later on in the spring too. So plenty of reasons to come look for native plants here at the preserve. Thanks for exploring the preserve with me.